Well, howdy. It's been a while since I made a video. I thought I would make this video and just let y'all know about a novel that I just recently finished. It took me over 2 years to write and edit and get it how I wanted before making it publicly available. If you're interested in it, it's on my Substack, michaelwkelly.substack.com, and it sort of blends modern historical fiction with the stark moral landscape of the classic Western. There's some, it's more, in terms of the story, it's more like the traditional Western, like Louis L'Amour. It's very much tonally more optimistic, but in the writing has some hints of Cormac McCarthy, though it's not nearly as dark as McCarthy can get. A recent novel that it's similar to would be Paulette Jiles' News of the World, and I thought I would read to y'all a little bit of it. This is the prologue. Begins in 1875. The day was clear when Molly Davis's world ended. The sky was wide, so wide that it felt kind. No clouds, no wind worth naming. The wagon train had moved slow that morning, oxen snorting, iron-rimmed wheels creaking as they cut westward into a land that Molly's papa said was full of promise if a man had the patience to meet it. But they had left Tennessee because patience had finally run out. Mr. Davis had worked timber most of his life, saving what he could, coin by coin, while railmen and land agents talked up the cattle country farther west. Kansas, the territories beyond. Open land cheap under the Homestead Act, grass as high as a horse's belly, and a future not owned by anyone yet. It ain't running away, her mama had said, tying Molly's hair back with practiced fingers. It starts in where nobody knows your worst days. Molly was 15 when they left, a bright, happy redhead. Old enough to work, old enough to listen, old enough to understand that the parents were tired of living small lives in a place that kept asking more than it gave. They never saw the land they meant to claim. The rifles came first. The sound cracked the day open, sharp and final. Oxen bellowed, men shouted. A woman screamed once and then did not scream again. Molly remembered her mama's hand shoving her down hard, remembered dirt in her mouth, remembered her papa turning to look back at her like he was trying to memorize her face. Then he was gone. Afterward came confusion, smoke, and silence, broken only by crying and the low moan of wounded men. Some said Indians, some said renegades, some said it did not matter what you called men once they had guns. Molly survived because 6 white men and a boy named Eddie rode in and saved the wagon train. Eddie was black, about a year older than her, thin as a fence rail and quicker than anyone else she had ever seen. He ran messages, hauled water, loaded rifles. He did not stop until it was done. Days later, when the dead were counted and buried shallow because the ground was hard and time was harder, Eddie found her sitting by Ash Creek while the others argued over what came next. "Everybody's looking for you, Miss Davis," he said gently, taking off his hat. "They're mighty worried." "I'm sure they are," Molly said, though she could not imagine worry touching her anymore. He offered her a handkerchief. She took it and wiped her eyes. "I know it's hard," Eddie said, "losing your mama and papa." She nodded. "You said you lost yours?" "Yes'm, 7 years ago." 7 years, she said, astonished. "But you'd have just been a child." "I was 9. He told her he had been born on a plantation in Tennessee shortly before the war. He was only 6 when the war ended, and his parents were full of hope. But that hope was shattered only 3 years later when men in white robes burned the cabin they were staying in. His mama had only just got him hidden when she was dragged away with his papa. That day broke Eddie's world open and left him walking. He told Molly about Memphis, about meeting Mr. Taylor and his sons, about coming west because movement felt safer than staying still. "Mr. Taylor says I'm free," Eddie said, staring at the water. "Says Mr. Lincoln saw to it. But sometimes I wonder what that really means." Molly did not know what to say as Eddie told her his story. She only knew that Eddie was the one person since her parents died who had spoken to her like she still belonged to the world. Months later, she was crying by the same creek. Eddie had found her again, but so did Jake Taylor. "Hey!" Jake, the oldest Taylor son, called out. Then louder, uglier. "Hey, nigger!" The word landed like a slap. Eddie turned, smiling, lifting his hands like the gesture itself could calm things. "Jake, she's all right. We're just..." But just then a crack of thunder echoed across the plain. Thunder on a cloudless day. Eddie fell backward into the creek, dead, water blooming red around him. Molly screamed. "What'd you do that for, Jake?" she shouted, scrambling to Eddie's body, hands slick with blood she could not stop. Jake stormed forward, rifle still smoking. "No goddamn boy like him's gonna touch a white girl if I've got any say." "He didn't touch me," Molly cried. "We were talking, just talking." "Yeah, right," Jake snarled. "That's how it starts. You're just lucky I got here before you did anything more than talking. I've seen the way you look at him these past months. I know what's been going on. Filthy whore." Something inside Molly closed in, like a door barred from the inside. She did not scream again. She did not cry. She did not beg. She learned instead how to survive men who believed violence was the same thing as righteousness. She learned how to endure. So that's the prologue. The majority of the novel takes place 15 years after that in 1890. Originally, I didn't write the prologue till I'd written the whole novel, and as I was rereading it, there was one moment I gave all of Molly's backstory in just like a single paragraph of, I think it was chapter 5, and it was a lot. As I was rereading it over, I realized there was a lot to lay on the reader in a short amount of time. So I expanded it and made it a prologue. Chapter 1, though, begins not with Molly, but with the main character, Sandy Marsden. We don't meet Molly till I think chapter 5, but well, Molly again. I mean, we meet her in the prologue, but the novel, they kept going. Its its inherent themes are in that title. It's very much a Western novel of perseverance, and it's not just for people on the frontier. It's it's in a way we're all in the frontier of this life, but anyway, if you found that interesting, and I highly uh like I'd be grateful for you to check it out on my Substack and to read it, to maybe leave some comments on the Substack, leave some comments below on the video too if you want, and I'll see you on the range. The majority, it's very much a pure pilgrimage novel. It's they're literally moving, but they're spiritually moving too. The literal movement is a cattle drive all the way from Texas to Wyoming. But anyway, I'll see you on the frontier. The website, again, michaelwkelly.substack.com. I'll see y'all.